Yo, what's good? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room yet again. Always with another one, hey, yes, it is another one, real talk. So, you know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, look, man, we got the coach in the building, in the broadcast room tonight. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the CGA, real talk, you know what I'm saying? Real talk, we got to show CGA some love, so yeah, the great one. But at the end of the day, though, what he bringing to us is the 90% of women can't not use hypergamy. Hold on.
What the Finch Post is there to think about?
Whether y'all like it or not out there, you know what I'm saying? Coach be on point with a lot of his topics. I'm talking about a lot. I've been following Coach for a long time. So yeah, he be on point with a lot of shit, a lot of things, topics, issues, stuff like that. And he be bringing serious facts, you know what I'm saying? And I suggest y'all listen up. But this is here, you know what I'm saying? What we're going to do now is we're going to put these quarters, nickels, and dimes in on the times.
Here we go right here. It was good, wholesome talk. Yeah, it was good, wholesome TV. All right. 90% of women don't qualify. If you have been watching my videos for a long time, I had a video that said why I disqualify 90% of women. Now, this is almost unheard of, especially for a black male. It can sound bitter, hurt, or any of that. But what I'm telling you guys is that when you get a certain leverage and power and options, you can disqualify 90% of women. They just don't qualify for what you need them to do. Even just sexually, they don't qualify. And it is a superpower. And then I also came up with the 7 mate qualifications, which I'm going to read to you right now, is you guys got to get to the point where you leverage let me see if I can stop the camera real quick. Hopefully it doesn't interfere with my show. The 7 levels of mate qualification, which is, all right, I can't put it up on the screen. Number 1, it is the woman doesn't qualify. That's a very difficult thing for a man to say, especially under 30. Okay, she don't qualify. Not even for sex. Romantic, she doesn't qualify. It's kind of like when I told you earlier, you tell a woman, no, we're not talking about your type. All right, number 2, she's a service provider. Now, a lot of you guys take service providers and mix them into your dating rotation and whole life. We actually proved that earlier with this particular video. A lot of you guys are dealing with service providers and you don't think so. You're trying to save her. But this woman is for the streets. So if she's a service provider, she certainly can be enjoyed for a service, but you got to not fall in love with her. You can't tell her, all right, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this life. I can save you. She a service provider. Let her be a service provider.
Yo. And don't sit there and do not sit there. Do not sit there and act like, you know what I'm saying, some of you cats ain't doing that shit out there. Well, baby, you ain't got to do this. You ain't got to do that. I'll take care of you. Listen, look, man, every man that dealt with a little bit of this and that throughout their time in life, especially if you're a grown ass man. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, definitely over 35. Like, seriously. But it's the point that where it comes to where you need to understand, you need to leverage your options as a man. You need to understand, like, listen, look, this is where I'm at. Do you want to keep, sending out your finances for a bottomless fucking pit? I'm just asking. I'm just asking. Because that's what that's going to end up to be, a bottomless pit with that type of woman, with that type of mindset and thinking. A bottomless pit. Man, protect yourself and your finances at all times. Real talk.
The next one is practice. Let's say you're with a woman and you're like, I really don't like her, but I'm getting off with her. A young guy said he's with an older woman and it's great sexually. You're animalistic, but she still practice. Eventually, if you don't understand how to qualify her, she's going to make you commit to her when she was just harem. A lot of you guys don't realize that a lot of women are concubines. A lot of women are wanting, they're in someone's harem. Now, we don't have it like kings and queens today. There used to be kings and you could say, oh, that woman's in the king's harem. But we have celebrities. We have entertainers and athletes, and we have politicians. They have concubines. Some of these politicians and celebrities have male concubines. But concubines are side chicks that are taken care of. There was a story about once Pamela Anderson said, oh, there was an actor that paid my car note and my rent, but he was married. Now, she put this guy's business out here and he later denied it. But guys, this is happening. I think it's true because that's how people get down. That's how people get down. I know women that are concubines. I know men that use women as concubines. Oh, concubines aren't whores, by the way. Concubines are just kept women. So what you're doing is you're leveraging your finances to keep her only loyal to you while you do your bidding. So she doesn't mind that you do your bidding, and she will be somewhat loyal to you. She's like, hey, this man is only for me. This is my sugar daddy. This is my concubine. I mean, this is my person. He takes care of me. A lot of women want that. A lot of women will say, you got to pay my rent and my bills. Some of the things that come with it is you got to be exclusive to just that guy.
Okay. To really break this thing down, back through our history, of course, we had a lot of kingdoms, a lot of emperors, a lot of kings, dukes, all that type of stuff. They had harems and concubines and stuff like that. And y'all need to follow me on this thought process here. This is what's going on here. Like the coach just said, a lot of women, that's the reason why women outnumber men on this planet. Pay attention to this. The reason why women have always outnumbered men on this planet is because due to those facts. Listen, look, the super dominant men that were kings and emperors and all that type of stuff, of course, they had the mass bulk of their choice of women and the mass bulk of women within their immediate circle. A lot of the rest of the men did not have the mass amount. You know what I'm saying? They got what they could. It is what it is. The things what it is. And also the women that were outside of the king's harem and circle, they had to deal with the men that they could too. Let's keep that real. Let's keep that real as well. There were also women that were not going to be chosen, never would be chosen, or anything like that by a king or duke or emperor or anything like that. That's just reality. A lot of women weren't chosen as well, so they had to get with some type of man throughout history. It is what it is. I'm not to say that, you know, that's what breaks down to the amount of men that actually were able to reproduce throughout history versus the women that were able to reproduce. Women, a vast amount of women were reproducing more than a vast amount of men throughout history, and that was the case because they had, you know, the kings and dukes and stuff like that reproducing at a mass level, and the peasants were basically, you know, reproducing how they could. It just is what it is. So yeah, it makes sense when you actually use logistics and actually want to actually accept the truth about that shit. Like, seriously.
And what the French soldiers gonna think about?
So, you know, yeah. That's where it comes in, where 90% of women do not qualify, especially in today's society. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, they're not going to find, you know, that vast amount. They're not going to find a super high rich man that's going to take on the multiple amount of women like kings and dukes and emperors used to take on, you know, throughout history. You know, you talk about if you're going to go to the Bible, let's just go there. King David like had over 400 fucking wives or something like that. So I mean, you know, let's just
what the French soldiers gonna think about.
And you know, yeah, we call them wives now, but technically it goes back to what the coach is saying. They would the majority of them were actually concubines. You could only have one technical queen and things like that. So the rest of them were actually concubines or, hearsays and things like that. So, yeah. But, and then, Genghis Khan, had a tremendous amount of women. Half of Asia right now is some kin to Genghis Khan. Like, it just, come on.
French coach is there to think about.
Do your research. It's true. Do your research. This shit is true. So we thinking that, everybody's sitting around here like all these women feel like, we all supposed to have a man, and it's just not true. It's never been true throughout history that every woman on this planet will have a man. The majority of women have shared men throughout history. Like it or not.
Doesn't mean they will, but that's part of the agreement. Okay. The next one would be a regular rotation, friends with benefit. That's a way to qualify her. You're just my friends with benefit. It's a dangerous game to play. It can be done effectively. It can be done and go off without a hitch. Sometimes they turn weird. Then you also have women that are pretenders. These are dangerous people. Pretenders. A pretender would be like, let me give you an example of a pretender. If this woman wanted to get married, okay, we featured her already. Now, I'm not saying anything negative about her, but if this woman said, a man needs to take me out on a proper date, and he needs to know how to treat a woman, and he needs to know how to, be emotionally available. If this woman starts saying that, she's a pretender. She's obviously a ran through on the cock carousel. She has probably no ability to pair bond. She's not going to make a good girlfriend or a wife. And she doesn't deserve this type of treatment. She should just stay on being a service provider or a regular. That's basically what her lifestyle is. She doesn't have the ability to then pivot. So if she then uses you as that and says, you have to be a good, honorable man, you have to send me a good morning text, that wouldn't be the proper approach for her or what she deserves or that type of respect. She doesn't deserve that. She a pretender. There's a lot of pretender women out here that are kind of like, hey, let's pivot to
and that's you.
Let's pivot to that. And then all of a sudden, then I want to be treated like a lady. All right.
So the thing of it is, with what he just said right then, this is the facts. Due to the fact of throughout history, we had a certain percentage of women that were in the concubine wife situation with the high value men throughout centuries. Then we had the quote unquote, what we consider now the average and below average women that were, dealing with the regular men, the carpenters, the day-to-day men that were, they didn't qualify. Those type of women did not qualify to be with the kings and the emperors and things like that. Then we also, throughout history, had what we call, the prostitutes. I mean, it just is what it is out here. Of course, we knew what those women were for. This is the reason why we as men have always had a certain qualification level for certain type of women. We've had this since the beginning of time. This is nothing new. It's only new to you individuals because y'all want to sit around here and try to negate what's been going on throughout history. It's crazy. It's crazy. What? It's ridiculous. And this is where we at right now. It's all been kind of jumbled in nowadays, with the qualifications of women. And, we have all this, you just need to respect all women, and you just need to, make sure that, you listen to all women and believe all women and stuff like that. You can't do that. You can't believe all people. That's impossible. That is impossible.
You'll thank me in the morning.
You ain't right, man.
Oh, I'm right. You'll see.
You just can't. You just can't. And that's where it broke down to. That's the reason why we're having the problems nowadays. You know what I'm saying? All of that has just been, put in like one category now. Like all women are the same, and they're not. They're not. They're not. Just like all men are not the same. And that's where men and women are having the problems at nowadays. That we're thinking that, you know, all men are the same, or all women are the same. We travel in this lucrative pack of thinking, and it just don't work that way. It does not. It's always been separate types of men and women. Just like you've had men that were rogues and things like that, nomads. You know, they may run across a piece of puss every now and then on their travels and shit. Things like that. Warriors, conquerors, you know, that plunder and pillage villages and stuff like that, that, you know, did egregious things to women. I'm not justifying that. But I'm just saying, though, it's always been different types of men on this planet. You know, and we're all trying to loop each other in all together nowadays, and that's causing the damn problems. Like seriously.
And what the French toast is going to think about?
Sometimes the single mother will pivot to that. She'll be like, I deserve to be treated, and my value has risen because and you're like, you're a pretender. Now, the last one would be a contender. This is where you get into the 10% less category, the contenders. That's the last category. So I made a video saying I disqualify 90% of women because I'm not horny for them anymore. I've had some. It's a little overrated. This was a fetish. All right. I was playing a little game with them. They're not worth my time, and so forth and so on. Now, you would think that would be misogynist, wouldn't you? You would think that would be misogynist type information. Well, a lot of people think this program is misogyny. Yes, I'm mispronouncing it wrong because Tom Likas came up with it. Misogyny. Actually, a caller for Tom Likas came up with it. Misogyny. You would think this is misogyny, right? However, we have a woman that is going to say the exact same thing. Yes, we have a woman that's going to say the exact same thing. She's going to say that 90% of women do not qualify to exercise hypergamy. Wow. Listen, guys, I'm trying to give you guys some key things to make yourself aware of. 90% of women don't qualify to exercise hypergamy. Listen, and by the way, this is the woman saying it. Take it for what it's worth.
For those people. No, you just, if you're a bus driver, you find the equivalent. That 80-20 rule we were talking about.
So, but is that fair to say then that some women don't qualify for hypergamy?
Yes, many women don't qualify. In fact, 90% of women don't qualify for a hypergamous relationship.
Thank you.
90%?
Yeah, until they meet me. I would say 90%. Absolutely.
Start from the top.
I think we heard her the first time.
I want this. No, start from the top.
Yeah.
It's true. 90% of women do not fall into that space of deserving the kind of man that will protect and provide on that level. You might get the guy who will take you to a fancy restaurant. You might get the guy who will throw you $200-$300, but he's not going to spend 20 bands to build your business because you're just not that bitch.
Oh, no.
First of all, you don't have a business. You don't even mind your business.
Oh, no.
Whoa.
And what the French toast is going to think about? Fired!
Oh my goodness, man! Listen, she's saying it. Hey, and this is the deal. We got chicks out here, you know, talking about the, you know, you work at Walmart, baby. You work at Walmart. You unhappy because you trying to date outside your motherfucking pocket range. You trying to date outside your level. You trying to date outside your range, baby. That's why you unhappy. You know what I'm saying? You know, and the thing of it is too, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be honest with you, most men with a logical thinking mind know better than to try to reach outside their level unless they've built themselves up to set level. But now though, you know what I'm saying? Women seem to think that they could just shoot to a level just because they was born a fucking woman.
And what the French toast is going to think about?
society is trying to tell these chicks, some type of misunderstanding and a misthinking. That's not going to happen. That's the reason why we have the lack of families. Birth rates are down. Things are not happening. Communities are destroyed. Families are no longer in existence. And we want to sit around here and think this shit is a game.
Fired! Shot fired! You can't make this shit up.
You can't make this shit up. And, yes, a lot of you don't qualify. Well, we own our own homes and this and that. Where is that at? All of us women are Fortune 500 company owners, and so you mean to tell me all of you women are Fortune 500 company owners? What are you talking about? You own a lash business, baby, and that's barely doing any damn thing because shit, at the end of the day, you don't have the proper guidance in order to do it properly. You don't even understand that with your lash and hair business that the market is saturated with the majority of you women trying to be lash and lash techs and all this other type of stuff. You can't make no money like that long term because there's too many of you bitches trying to do it.
Well, what's the French toast is there to think about?
Lord, man. Lord.
Ooh, wait.
Is it time for the robe?
Yeah.
I'm about to put the robe on.
So
What do you need from me? Like,
Is it time for the
at
robe?
this point, I'm just,
I feel like
I just want
we
to
have
be.
to be real with ourselves.
Yeah, you got to be real.
Before we expect a man to move his money,
Those days
Ooh, wait. Ninja right here. Now, she must be a dating coach or something. I have no idea. But that's exactly what I've been saying. Now, a lot of people twist and turn my words to make it fit to your narrative because, you know what I mean? Hit dogs holler. But I've been done said that. Now, hypergamy is a natural setting in women. They already have that. Just because they have it doesn't mean they get to use it. Just like men. Men are naturally not monogamous. And they always say, just because you're not monogamous doesn't mean you have to use it. Right? Okay, if that's your argument, just because you're hypergamous doesn't mean you're going to benefit from it. Doesn't mean you're going to be able to use it effectively. Oh, Lord. And that's the truth. So when you're seeing a lot of women out here, I'm a 10. Although the women are like, I'm an 8, 9, or 10. They're always 9s or 10s with my personality and my value and what I bring. You also hear a lot of women go, well, I'm ugly and goofy looking, but I have a degree and I have a marketing job and I have a human resources director. And I'm also, and they'll start trumping their education as to say, I can subvert the qualifications to look good and like a lady. Because I have this value and I added it. Or I got a BBL and I got my lips done and I got my titties done and I got Botox. So I get to jump in front of the line. I'm automatically hot and I get to exercise hypergamy. And men have been saying, no, you don't. At the beginning, she was starting to say, if you're a bus driver, you need to get with somebody on the equivalent of that. So she was basically saying what Obsidian was saying back in the day. Water seeks its own level. Water always seeks its own level. So here's a woman that's a bus driver. The bus drivers today are trying to get to the top tier men. Now, she even acknowledged.
I'm just saying here. Shit. If you look at baby, just looking at this woman right here. Now it is what it is. She could get a man. Don't get it twisted. But do you think she gonna get a man that's the top executive at JP Morgan Financial? Like, see, do you think that she really finna do that?
And what the French toast is there to think about?
I mean, you know.
But you old fish-eyed fool.
She even acknowledged every now and then the top tier men will give you access, sex access, a date, even $200. So she's acknowledged all of my levels: practice, service provider. She's acknowledged all of my levels that I took all this time having to explain it so as to not sound like I'm hating. She said, yeah, you might even get a date. You might even get flown out. You might even get $200. That still doesn't mean you qualify. Still does not mean you qualify to exercise hypergamy. She ain't lying. This includes the overweight chicks with degrees. This includes the single mothers. Well, I know my value. It don't matter if you know your value.
Silence, you fool.
Your value is not what you say it is. It's what the marketplace says it is. It's what the percentages say it is. So enough about what she looks like. The matter of fact is she's speaking matters of fact. I've been saying the number 90%. And I've been saying this for years. I wish I had the video up, but I actually deleted tons of my videos, but they're all over on my premium channel, which I'll give you the links to. All right. My older videos are preserved. They're on my premium channel. And I've had to do this because YouTube has been a disgrace towards me. But 90% of women, divorcees, you don't qualify. Even if a guy makes use of you, doesn't mean you qualify. So a guy makes use of you, then you put the bar up here. Oh, this guy knows how to treat me. I want guys that treat me like this. Doesn't mean you get to exercise that. You are disqualified.
Don't want to for those
These
people.
things.
No, you just, if you're a bus driver, you find the equivalent. That 80-20 rule we were talking about.
So, but is that fair to say then that some women don't qualify for
Yes.
hypergamy?
Yes, many women don't qualify.
Okay.
In fact, 90% of women don't qualify for a hypergamous relationship.
Bruh. Now, this is obvious to people that watch this space, so it's somewhat of an echo chamber and so forth and so on, but it's true. What they're looking to catch is a fool. What they looking to catch is a guy lacking, right? A guy that is down bad. A guy that believes he's down bad. And then maybe she can make something of that guy. I think people should date amongst their level, but we've actually, most of the time, we've gotten away from this when you exclude social circle relationships. If we take social circle relationships out of the conversation, meaning you met at job, you met at school, you met at work, you met at church, they're excluded from this conversation because they tend to date on their level there. Once you get out of that, you got divorcees, single people, incels, you got all of these people, MGTOW, you got hoes, skeezers, sluts, you got service providers, you got all these remaining people, divorcees, married people out here. Once you keep us in the conversation, this is what we're seeing. 80% of the women are going to 20% of the men. I want this. I deserve this. I need this. I have to have that. When inevitably, you don't get this. You don't qualify for this. Just because you got a couple of degrees doesn't mean you're capable. Just because you can cook doesn't mean you're capable. Sometimes you just don't qualify, which means, in effect, you need to date someone on your level.
Yo.
Thank me in the morning.
You ain't right, man.
Oh, I'm right. You'll see.
Yo. Yo. Dating on your level means every damn thing. Dating on your level. And see, that's what has happened in the 21st century. Everybody is forgetting to date on their level. It definitely goes for both men and women. We all are in this this daydream or this nightmare, of who we think we deserve, or who we think that we should be with, or who we think our partner, or I hate that partner shit, or who we think our wife and our husband should be. Because I hate that partner shit. Like, seriously. You want me as a partner, you don't get the same amenities. You don't get the same direction, structure. You don't get the same protection that you will if you're my wife. Like, seriously, you don't get that. I'm not your partner. You know what I'm saying? You want a partner? Start a business. Real talk.
What?
It just is what it is. It is what it is, though. It is what it is, man. And you know, it's sad to say, but it's true. You know, this is how life is going right here. We have all these complications of the situations, and everybody not trying to understand the real truth. And that goes into the things that actually matter as far as building relationships and trying to build families, which builds communities, which builds the structures that we need to survive as a people.
Well, what the French toast is there to think about?
Yeah, but it is what it is, though, man. Hey, shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. Shout out to the coach, Real Talk. Mad love to CGA. And if you're new to the channel, hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell that you'll be notified whenever I decide to post things. And you know what? Like I always say,
And that, my friends, is the bottom line.
that, my friends, is the bottom line. Mad love to all my subscribers. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Please comment. My link to my X, TikTok, and my email are down below. And I always show the bottom line news some love. And like I always say,
And that, my friends, is the bottom line.
that, my friends, is the bottom line.
Who responsible for all these hoes in the street? You?
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
We'll talk about that some other time.
Now I want to talk about it now. See,
Fred,
another reason
Fred, I said we'll talk about that some other time.
you don't tell me what I can talk about. You don't tell me what I can talk about in my own house.
Don't you point your finger at my nose, Fred Sanford.
I'll point my finger at your nose and I'll point my foot somewhere else.